At the start of the film, we meet a retired Marine named Rory. He sits in a quiet office across from a psychiatrist named Donna and begins to open up about the weight he has been carrying. Rory speaks about struggles that have pushed him to the edge and made him consider doing the unthinkable. Donna listens with patience and empathy. She refuses to let him give up and keeps urging him to fight through the darkness he is facing. His next step will change everything. This is The Instigators. While Rory battles his own mind, the story shifts to another part of the city. A man named Scalvo is tied to a chair, bruised and terrified. Standing in front of him is Toby, the ruthless head of a mafia family. Toby is furious. Scalvo has leaked their plans and now he must pay the price. Instead of killing him, Toby gives one final order. Scalvo must find new people to carry out their mission, and he will suffer even worse consequences if he fails.
Open your big fucking mouth about our score! What happens when you shoot your mouth off right before elections?
I can fix it!
How the fuck are you gonna do that?
I got a whole crew, we'll do it!
The next day at a small city bar, the owner, Mr. Kelly, receives a tense phone call from Scalvo, who is searching for his son, Toby. Sensing something is off, Mr. Kelly warns Toby to stay calm and not make any reckless decisions. On the call, Scalvo demands a meeting in 1 hour. Toby agrees without hesitation and heads out to the location. When he arrives, Toby begins scanning the area. Before long, he is approached by Rory, who is also contacted by Scalvo. Moments later, Scalvo shows up with Toby and his enforcer DeChico. Toby wastes no time explaining the situation. The city of Baston is about to hold a mayoral election, and they already know the current mayor, McSally, is almost guaranteed to win. That means only one thing: a wave of dirty money is coming. No one will risk wiring hundreds of thousands of dollars through a bank. They will be delivering it through hidden doors and back channels. Every contractor seeking power or a project deal will arrive with a black bag filled with cash, anywhere from hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars, ready to hand directly to McSally. The mayor's building will be left open, serving as a revolving door for illegal money. That is where Toby, Scalvo, and Rory come in. Toby orders the three of them to intercept the cash and rob the money before the official couriers arrive. The job will take only 15 minutes. In return, each of them will receive 10% of the first $300,000 they secure. If the haul is larger than expected, they will be entitled to a bigger cut. Rory, who desperately needs $32,000, asks Toby to guarantee his share up front. Toby agrees and promises Rory the amount he needs, but only on one condition. If they collect more than expected, Rory must give up his remaining portion. Rory does not argue. For the sake of his son and the tuition he must pay, he accepts the deal without hesitation. The plan is set. Scalvo, Rory, and Toby will approach by speedboat, crossing the water and docking at the pier. From there, they must slip through the kitchen entrance and take down the staff, which they believe consists of only 6 cooks and servers. Once the area is secure, they are to force the guard to open McSally's safe and empty the cash inside. With the money in hand, the three of them must escape before anyone can raise the alarm. To keep the operation quiet, Toby instructs Rory and Toby to hand all of the stolen money to Scalvo. Over the next few days, DeChico will visit each of them separately to deliver their cut. Rory then raises a concern. What if McSally loses the election? Toby does not answer. Instead, he tells Rory and Toby to step outside so he can speak with Scalvo alone. That is when the truth comes out. Toby never planned to share anything with Rory or Toby. Once the job is done, he intends to eliminate both of them. DeChico, a professional killer, agrees to carry out the order without hesitation. Before the heist, Scalvo, Rory, and Toby conduct a quick surveillance. Based on their timing, the money truck is expected to arrive at exactly 6:07. To succeed, they must work fast and leave before the couriers show up. Scalvo reminds the others that once they move, there can be no delays. The day of the heist arrives. As they near the location, their speedboat suddenly gets stuck, forcing them to waste precious minutes. They manage to free it and rush toward the kitchen, but nothing is as planned. Instead of a handful of staff, they find a full team of employees. Scalvo orders Rory and Toby to force everyone into the freezer and toss their phones outside before anyone can call for help. One by one, the workers are locked in, but then an unexpected detail emerges. A frightened server reveals that McSally is not the favorite in the election. The people are rallying behind a rival candidate, a Chinese-American businessman named Mark Choi. When Scalvo finally opens the safe, the truth becomes undeniable. There is almost no money inside, only a few scattered bills. The fortune they were promised does not exist. Scalvo immediately pulls Rory and Toby away to search another room.
Where's all the money?
Get the fuck out! The fuck out!
Enough. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Meanwhile, in another part of the city hall, McSally unleashes his rage on an election official. Furious that Mark Choi has defeated him, McSally beats the man in a blind fury. Moments later, his lawyer Alan rushes in and urges him to leave the building at once. Loyalists of Mark Choi, who have long known McSally's corruption, are beginning to riot, and the situation is spiraling out of control. While searching for a way out, Scalvo, Rory, and Cobby accidentally step into the same room where McSally and his men are gathered. Scalvo freezes. His identity has already been exposed and there is no turning back. In a panic, he raises his gun and orders McSally and everyone in the room to hand over their valuables. McSally hesitates, especially when Scalvo takes a bracelet that once belonged to his grandfather. The tension rises as a police commissioner in the room draws his weapon and demands that Scalvo return it. The standoff escalates into a heated argument, until in a split second, both men open fire. The room erupts and both Scalvo and the commissioner fall to the floor, dead.
Stop moving your fucking hands.
Fucker, if you shoot him, you fuck us all.
Don't let him get out of here.
You wanna go? Drop the gun.
Yo, we're getting robbed back there. Take him out!
Chaos breaks loose. Cobby and Rory know they have only seconds before the situation becomes even worse. They run, searching for an exit, but Cobby has been hit in the shoulder and is losing blood. Time has run out. The clock has passed 6:07, and a money courier arrives at the worst moment possible. Cornered, Cobby forces the courier at gunpoint to hand over the keys to the truck. With the keys in hand, Cobby and Rory steal the vehicle and speed away from the scene. By now, the police have already been alerted that the armored truck has been hijacked.
Right turn! Go! Get a fucking police car!
Oh, well, they got more.
Watch it!
As they race through the streets, Cobby notices two phones inside the cabin. That can only mean one thing. There is still another guard locked in the back compartment. Cobby orders Rory to fasten his seatbelt. Once they are far from the chaos, Cobby pulls over and tells Rory to step outside. He explains that a second guard is likely still inside. Rory, wanting proof, tells Cobby to open the rear door. The moment it swings open, the hidden guard unleashes a burst of gunfire, barely missing Rory. The shots go wide, and the two men narrowly survive. Not wanting things to escalate further, Cobby tells Rory to run. They abandon the truck, steal another car, and continue their escape through the city. At the same time, Toby meets DeChico at his pastry shop and collects a stack of cash. Knowing the mission has failed, Toby gives a cold order. Rory and Cobby must be eliminated. DeChico contacts a man named Booch and instructs him to finish the job. Booch arrives moments later and asks for details. DeChico tells him to recruit additional help. The goal is simple: kill Rory and Cobby and recover everything they stole. Before Booch can move, DeChico receives a call from Rory. Desperate, Rory tells them to come pick him and Cobby up and to bring a doctor because Cobby's wound is getting worse. After ending the call, DeChico orders Booch to head to the location. Cobby has taken Rory to Mr. Kelly's house, hoping to rest and treat the injury before it becomes fatal. Fortunately for them, Mr. Kelly is still at work and has no idea that the two fugitives are hiding inside his home. Meanwhile, McSally is furious about losing his priceless bracelet. Desperate to get it back, he assigns the task to a top police commander named Tommy. McSally wants him to work alone. No other officer can know what really happened. Following the lead, Tommy goes straight to DeChico's pastry shop. He explains that during the shootout the night before, a valuable item disappeared. Once Tommy learns that the bracelet is now in Cobby's possession, he orders DeChico to recover it and return it immediately. Not long after, while Rory and Cobby review the small amount of money they managed to secure, Cobby inspects the bracelet and notices a series of numbers engraved on the back. Before they can figure out what it means, Booch and an accomplice arrive at the house. Cobby instantly senses something is wrong. These men are no doctors. Rory quietly tells him to be ready. When Booch confronts them, he takes the bracelet as instructed. Then, with the job half done, Booch orders his partner to step outside. He plans to kill Cobby and Rory on the spot. But Cobby has already anticipated the betrayal. He has opened a gas line in the room, and Booch quickly realizes that firing a gun will blow them all to pieces. Cornered by his own fear of dying, Booch freezes. Cobby seizes the moment and forces him to hand over his keys, his weapon, and the bracelet. With everything they need back in their hands, Rory and Cobby flee before anyone else can arrive.
Hey,
Hey, new guy! Fuck you guys up!
At the same time, DeChico calls Toby and delivers more bad news. Tommy has visited the shop, knows about the failed heist, and is demanding the bracelet. The moment Toby hears Tommy's name, he panics. Crossing the police is one thing, but crossing Tommy is something else entirely.
God damn motherfucker! God damn it!
2 hours later, Rory drives Toby to the parking lot outside Donna's clinic. With no other options and his friend growing weaker, Rory rushes inside and brings Donna out to the car. There, he finally admits the truth. Toby was shot during the incident that has been all over the news. Knowing Donna has medical training, he begs her to remove the bullet. Donna wants nothing to do with the mess they created, but in the end, she agrees to help under one condition. She will treat Toby, but she will pretend to be their hostage if anyone asks. The surgery begins and fortunately it goes well. Toby regains consciousness a short time later and immediately grows anxious. He tells Rory to check on Donna. He fears she might contact the police. Rory opens the door and catches Donna in the middle of a phone call. It is already too late. The police are on their way. Moments later, squad cars surround the area from every direction. Rory and Toby make a run for it, grabbing Donna's car keys with the intention of fleeing. Donna tries to convince them to surrender, but when they refuse, she jumps into the car with them. With sirens closing in, Rory steps on the gas. Police vehicles swarm the streets, ramming from every angle, but Rory is a skilled driver. He weaves through the chaos, outmaneuvering every attempt to block their path. It soon becomes clear that the officers chasing them are not just local patrol units. Multiple agencies have joined in, each one hungry for the glory of making the arrest. Toby directs Rory toward a tunnel. They race inside, but the chase only grows more violent. The pressure builds until a truck behind them loses control and crashes, triggering a pileup that stops the convoy. Using the chaos as cover, Rory, Toby, and Donna break free from the pursuit. Meanwhile, DeChico meets Toby at their hideout. The temperature is dropping fast, and DeChico insists they escape before conditions worsen. Back on the run, Toby takes Rory and Donna to Mr. Kelly's bar to lay low. They break in through the bathroom window and finally slip inside, hoping the police will lose their trail. Not long after, Tommy arrives at Mr. Kelly's bar, acting on new information he has gathered. Rory immediately tells Toby and Donna to hide. Tommy searches the area and unexpectedly runs into Mr. Kelly, who has just arrived to open the bar. After a tense exchange, Mr. Kelly, frustrated with Toby's recklessness, demands that Toby and his two companions come out and face Tommy. When the three finally step forward, Tommy asks for McSally's bracelet. Sensing something is wrong, Toby starts to piece things together. If McSally is desperate enough to send Tommy alone, it must mean the bracelet is worth far more than they ever knew. Still, Toby hands it over, having already memorized the number sequence engraved on the back. With the bracelet secured, Tommy orders Donna to leave the bar with him and tells Rory and Toby to stay put. He claims the police are on the way to arrest them. The moment Tommy and Donna step outside, Toby puts his real plan into motion. He has already opened a gas line inside the bar. With no time to lose, he urges Rory to run. As police surround the building, a massive explosion rips through the bar, shaking the entire block. Some time later, Rory and Toby are seen aboard a bus, heading toward Montreal. The plan is to disappear, but Rory argues that the trip puts them in even greater danger. The two clash over their next move, especially when Rory casually suggests robbing a bank to solve their problems. The argument escalates until a group of Mark Choi supporters storms the bus, waving protest posters. Toby studies one of the signs and suddenly has an idea. With renewed excitement, he urges Rory to listen and work with him one more time. Meanwhile, outside Boston City Hall, an angry crowd gathers, demanding that McSally step down. He is no longer their mayor. Tommy arrives at the scene and hands over the bracelet he recovered, setting the stage for the next move in a city on the brink of chaos. Outside Boston City Hall, Toby and Rory slip away and make their next move. They head to a nearby fire station, break in, and steal uniforms and equipment. Disguised and prepared, they descend into an underground subway tunnel. There, Toby reveals his plan. He pours gasoline along a pipeline he has set up, creating a trail that leads straight to City Hall. Once everything is in place, he ignites it. Inside the building, McSally is in a panic, stuffing bags full of dirty money. Suddenly, the fire alarm blasts through the halls. The system is directly connected to the fire department, and within minutes, firefighters rush toward the scene. Blending in with the responding crew, Toby and Rory enter the building and join the line moving toward McSally's office. But one suspicious fire chief begins watching them closely and follows their every step. Meanwhile, McSally is confronted by a man claiming to be the new police commissioner. The man forcefully escorts McSally out of the burning building for his own safety. McSally refuses to leave without his money and orders Alan to retrieve everything from the office vault. Luckily for him, the sprinklers activate just in time, slowing the spread of the flames. Back in the hall, the fire chief corners Toby and Rory. They manage to reach McSally's private office, but the chief prepares to break down the door. With no other choice, Rory threatens Alan's life if anyone forces their way in. Hearing the threat, the fire chief backs off and reports the situation to the police outside. Elsewhere, Tommy is relaxing in a bar when panicked citizens rush in, shouting that City Hall is in chaos. Realizing something has gone terribly wrong, he leaves immediately to investigate. Inside the office, Toby focuses on the vault. He recalls the code engraved behind McSally's bracelet and punches in the combination. The lock clicks open. When the door swings wide, both men stare in disbelief. Inside lies more money than either of them has ever seen in their lives. In a surprising turn, Alan decides to save himself. Wanting no part in McSally's downfall, and eager to earn credit rather than blame, he hands Toby a stack of offshore banking records that prove McSally's bribery network. He also gives them permission to take the mayor's hidden cash. Moments later, police outside the building open fire, unaware Alan is still inside. The bullets miss, but one shot grazes Toby's arm. Realizing a hostage is involved, the police stop shooting. To resolve the standoff, they send in a negotiator, and that negotiator is Donna. Because she already knows Toby and Rory, they allow her inside without resistance. When Donna sees the mountain of dirty cash, she demands a full explanation. Toby, Rory, and Alan finally tell her everything that has happened. Donna understands that none of them want to die in that building, so she quietly forms a plan. She will escort Alan out safely, while Toby and Rory slip away. A short time later, Donna walks Alan out of City Hall and delivers him unharmed to the police. Then chaos erupts. With documents and money in hand, Toby and Rory shove McSally's vault out of a high window. The massive safe crashes onto the street, spilling cash everywhere. The crowd of protesters and criminals loses control, scrambling and fighting over the money. Police try to stop them, but the mob ignores every command. Using the distraction, Toby and Rory steal a fire truck and speed away. For a moment, they believe they have finally escaped. But as they turn a corner, Tommy steps into the road and blocks their path. He has been waiting. Toby and Rory try to flee, but Tommy is faster. He knocks them down and ends the chase. Knowing they are finished, Toby hands Tommy the evidence of McSally's bribery network. They hope this will buy their freedom. Instead, Tommy takes the files and arrests them anyway. With the evidence in hand, the police move quickly. McSally is caught at the airport while attempting to flee the country, and he is immediately thrown in jail. In the aftermath, the scandal breaks wide open. Thanks to the proof Toby and Rory uncovered, the new mayor Mark Choi makes a surprising decision. As an act of gratitude, he releases both men from custody and clears their names. A few hours later, Toby and Rory are escorted by an officer to the destination they requested. Still wearing the fire rescue boots they used during the escape, they ask the officer about the money they had hidden inside them. The officer gives a simple answer. The police already seized it. The truth stings, but Toby and Rory can only accept it. They were freed by Mayor Mark Choi, and that freedom is worth more than the cash they lost. After everything they have been through, the two men part ways. Their chaotic journey together finally comes to an end.
Yeah, you be good.
Sometime later, Toby visits Donna at her home, hoping to find peace after the madness of the past few days. Meanwhile, Rory makes a different choice. Wanting to be a better father, he shows up to support his son at a hockey game, something he once neglected. For the first time in a long while, Rory stops thinking about himself and chooses to be present. 2 days pass. In a shocking discovery, police find the frozen bodies of Toby and DeChico. They had tried to flee through the bitter cold, but never made it. Their deaths confirm the end of the criminal chain that started everything. With the villains gone, the evidence exposed, and the city moving forward, the story comes to a close. So the moral of the story is if you ever plan a heist with ex-soldiers, mobsters, and fake firefighters, make sure the speedboat actually works and never trust anyone who just wants to talk.